Good morning. I was up very early this morning. Thank you, government, for an unnecessary time change. So by the clock, it was just before 4:30 a.m. Although by my internal clock, it was 5:30 a.m. And with nothing better to do, I was watching a Pastor Joe video on Patreon about bug out bags. And I was on the hook to do some cardio this morning anyway. So I've spent the last hour rucking for a couple of reasons. Number one, cardio is good. Number two, you should use your gear. And so this Patreon video that Pastor Joe shot, he was talking about just different things he's come across dealing with people on their bug out bags. And I wanted to add to the conversation. We talk about bobs a good bit here. I am carrying mine right now. It's a 45-pound Condor 72-hour bag set up for 10 days. And it's got all the things: food, water, shelter, fire, clothes, all the blah blah blahs. But one of the things, see, I didn't make it all the way through his video, so I don't know if he mentioned this or not. But for the sake of argument, we're gonna assume he didn't. Interferences with your gear. Like right now, I have a little bit of an issue because I added 2 1-quart canteens to the waist belt on this pack. Let's see. Can you see my issue? You have what are called interferences. And that's when you start layering up your line gear. Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. You get interferences. This bumps that. This rubs this. If I put this on and then I put this thing over it, all of a sudden I can't get at that thing that I needed that was in my pocket or on my belt line or whatever. I'll tell you, there's some spiders out here that make their webs out of 12-pound test, not spider silk. I walked through one before and it slowed me down. Physically slowed me down. I had to lean into it to get through it. So you'll have what are called interferences. Whew. I don't know the last time you rucked for an hour straight. I'm not smoked, but I definitely got a little bit of a workout. And I use it that way. The other thing, right, so interferences. What about your footwear? What are you wearing while you're carrying your rucksack or your bug out bag around? Because I've got on a pair of work boots right now. And we will just say less than ideal. I mean, better than being barefoot, but less than ideal. These things are made for standing on rebar and concrete all day and not for walking around in this. So now, of course, if it's the end of the world and you know, as you know it, and you have to squirt out the side door, all right, cool. I get it. Any footwear is better than no footwear. But if you can have some control over the situation, have the proper footwear. I just have to mention, because you guys are going to ask, this is a good little piece of kit. This is a fleece balaclava. And my mommy got this for me like 15 years ago. and I love it. Just get the little drawstrings on it so you can cinch it down. I mostly use it for hunting. You can do this with it, you know, get it nice and tight. Or you can do this with it. Just use it as a neck warmer or whatever. It's not high-speed ultra tactical, but it's a good piece of kit. It'll keep your dome warm. And that's why I have it, because it's kill you weather. Upper 30s, maybe 40 degrees, humid, really humid. The kind of weather where if you broke a sweat or got wet and it was a survival situation, you'd want to make sure you had a fire going. A nice rain would be about all that would be necessary to make your life really miserable right now. But it's rained 20 of the last 30 days, so I'm thankful to the Most High that it's not raining right now. So there's another thing. Have you crossed creeks in your gear and streams and gone uphill and downhill and traversed ridge lines and walked through brush and done all the things with your gear? Or does it just live at your house? Like, yeah, that's my bag. When the world ends, I'm gonna grab it. Or when something happens and I gotta go, I'll grab it. Or it's in my car or truck or whatever, which is better than not having it. Okay, so I'm not peeing in your Cheerios on that. I'm just saying, now that you have it, you need to go use it. You need to actually go carry it, and not just on asphalt or a concrete sidewalk. Or, you know, I get people asking me in the comments on these videos, why do you walk like that? Because the ground's not flat. That's why. The ground is not flat out here. And so, and I walk in a very particular way when I'm trying to not make noise. It's a super ultra high speed tactical, and you can Google that, super ultra high speed tactical walking. If you just put that in, I'm not just throwing my feet at the ground as hard as I can. So there's you know, toe placement, heel placement, rolling your foot, distributing your weight as you move. I'm about to distribute some weight into that rooster. Where is he? He's a little guy right there, a little bantam. So we're back up at the house now. But interferences, footwear, using your gear, cool pieces of kit, right? Water, PJ said he sees a lot of people without water. Well, I'm carrying 5 liters right now, and I have another 3 that goes in the bladder, that is in the bladder of the chest rig that goes with this kit. That'd be another thing that I would mention, right? So I have a total of 8 liters of water that I carry with me, and that used to be 5, but I've upped it to 8 now. And I carry my own food with me as well, so that I don't have to scavenge. A lot of you guys know that, you've been here a long time, but if I'm bugging out, right, I'm not hanging around so that I can hunt and fish and trap and scavenge and forage wild edibles. No, I'm moving. I want to move from point A to point B. So, oh, you little jerk. So, they derail my train of thought every time they do that. So I'm not trying to procure food on the foot. I am bringing it with me while I'm on foot, because I find that to be more efficient, a better use of my time. And if you spend some time carrying your rucksack, you'll start pitching all of the heavy things that you don't really need, so that you can carry more food and more water, because those are your 2 biggest consumables, is food and water. So another consumable that I carry a lot of, comparatively, is ammunition. And I'm actually carrying less of it now that I'm not down in the DFW area. You can go to the Arkansas Preparedness Network. Gordon from the APN did a good video with me and Hobie about the mindset shift from being in the city to being out here in the country, and how that informs, you know, your gear decisions and how you prepare. Well, down there in Texas, I was carrying a 6+1 combat load, and for my chest rig for bugging out. And then My plate carrier is 10+1. And here, yeah, I got one in the gun and 2 spares on the bag. So that's anywhere between 4 and 8 pounds in ammunition that it saved me. And I've got, you know, my pistol and 3 spare magazines for that. So, because I do believe that you should have some modicum of combat capability as you're, you know, moving about with your rucksack. And I carry rifles every morning on my morning walks anyway. Mostly because I want to be super ultra tactical. What was that? You might say, that is tactical Muppet face. Yeah, if you're interested in more tactical Muppet face, especially you new people, you need to go way back channel. Tactical Muppet face. Yeah. That's our impersonation of these super high speed operators that want to charge you a bunch of money to come to their course and then yell at you. Well, they teach you how to not actually hit a target or how to not actually survive in the wilderness. Thanks for the cot, Richard Wells. It's in good hands, believe me. So, let's see. We're up at the bunker, so I need to put a bow on this. You should have, in my opinion, some ability to put rounds on target if you need to. I outright reject the concept of hunting out of your bug out bag. That's a different scenario. That's more of like an inch bag. I'm never coming home again, or the world has ended and now we all have to fend for ourselves. Cool. But the idea of hunting while bugging out, hunting takes time. And it's called hunting, not killing, because you're not guaranteed that you'll find something to kill every time. And I know, you are an awesome hunter, and you have never gone in the woods and not killed something, and you can live off the land indefinitely, and you are exactly the person that A Country Boy Can Survive was written for. I get it. I know that's you, but I'm talking about the rest of us. Okay? I reject hunting as a valid way to use weapons and or procure food while you're bugging out, because I think it's very idealistic, and idealism increases with distance from the problem, which means that you've not actually wargamed the problem, which means you think you're going to be able to go get food, but in reality you're not, or you're going to spend so much time trying to procure food that you're not going to actually get anywhere while you're bugging out, which means that you probably don't have a bug out location picked out yet, which means that you don't have a bug out plan, which means that you have the bag, which you've never used before. You're gonna go hunting for calories. You don't know where you're going or how you're getting there. You probably don't have a map, probably don't have a compass. And I'm not saying that to pee in anybody's Cheerios. I'm just saying it because I have the blessing to work with a lot of different people on things like this. And this is what I see over and over and over again. So you have to actually do more than put stuff in a bag. And I think PJ touched on that. But what kind of footwear do you have? Are you carrying enough water? Do you actually carry your rucksack? Do you go use it? Do you have the ability to make holes? Do you have the ability to plug holes on you? First aid. And I don't mean like one of those like adventure medical, you know, little tiny SOL kits. You know, it's like 90 Band-Aids and some gauze. I mean the ability to actually deal with a major wound. Yeah. Interferences. Again, when you carry your equipment, you play with your gear, all of a sudden you start learning, oh, I need to draw my sidearm. Okay, I can get it out, but it's not easy to do because there's a canteen in the way. Well, why is there a canteen in the way? Because I want to be able to drink water. Well, why don't you move to the other side? Because there's rifle mags over there. Well, why are there rifle mags over there? Because it's on my weak side, and I hold the weapon with my dominant hand, and I reload with my weak side. Well, why do you do that? Because I operate. Get you one of these. They're cool. Go play with your gear. It's beautiful this morning. It's cold, but it's beautiful. This is the day I have been asking the Father for, because it has been raining nonstop since I've been home, and I'm like, no wonder people jump off of buildings in the Pacific Northwest. I would too. This sucks. But it's a beautiful, crisp, clear morning. I have been up for a long time, and I'm gonna go get some more coffee. So shalom, y'all. Go use your stuff. Go move your body the way the Most High created it to be moved. Get out of your cubicle, get off of your couch, and just go. Shalom.